Chris with HobbyKing.com with a very exciting product release and daily that we're doing today. It's actually the 9XR Pro. I'm sure that you've seen me carrying this around on dailies and as well as out flying, and what I was doing was basically one of the beta testers on the 9XR Pro. So we are here and we are releasing it today. So let's go over some of the things that make the 9XR Pro, well, the Pro version. Now, when the original 9XR was released, it was the people's radio. It was developed with the open source community, a lot of RC input on the forums, and we went ahead and developed this radio. So with that feedback, as well as the evolution of the software, we were able to develop some hardware that matched that. So let's go over some of the key features on this. First thing that I want to talk about is the original 9XR had an ISP header in there, and you had to use a bootloader and upload different firmware as it was evolving. What we did on this one is actually add a media port down here, and it actually has a USB, which allows you to just plug it right into your computer. It has a built-in bootloader, so you're able to just connect it to some great GUIs or graphical user interfaces to interface with this radio, and we'll go over some of those in just one second. The other thing it has on this is an SD card slot, which allow you to data log and put information from the radio onto the SD card, as well as hold audio files and other files they might be able to utilize, as well as, of course, your power and earphone outputs for the verbal audio telemetry feedback on this, as well as warnings. So getting into the telemetry, of course, one of the big things with this is that we wanted to make it telemetry capable. Now the 9XR, if you were willing to open up the original and get into the case, you're able to get in there and solder up and update the firmware and make it compatible with some telemetry systems. Well, this one right from the factory has been pre-wired and is ready for telemetry. We'll go over that one as well in just a second, but I'll go ahead and just flip down the screen and we'll take a look at that. Now we have some great DSM modules that are coming out with telemetry built into them that will interact with DSM-2 as well as DSM-X. But if you are like me and fly on a FrSky setup with telemetry, we have a cable that you're able to buy, and what's really cool is it just plugs right into the Futaba port, and what we found is on the Futaba trainer port it actually had a unused pin, so we brought the RS-232 out to that unused pin, and it's as simple as just plugging this cable in to the top two pins, and now you've got full telemetry feedback from your FrSky module right over here. And what we also added was a Y connector, so you don't lose the Futaba port for head tracking or other inputs if you need to utilize that as well. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that is available for external telemetry, that the RS-232 is brought out to the outside, so you don't have to go into the radio and update that as well. Now let's talk about some of the internal hardware that makes this so much more powerful than the original. This one actually has an ARM Cortex M3 32-bit processor in it. Now this gives it 24 channels capable outputs, got 30 plus model memory built into it, 48 plus free mixes, meaning you can pretty much program anything from helicopters, gyrocopters, gliders, any type of mixes, even VTOL type of aircraft can easily be mixed in this radio. So if you're familiar with ER9X, which this is running a variant, an ARM variant of it for the 32-bit, you're familiar with the power of this programming on this particular radio. Now with this telemetry, what's really cool that you can do with this is that it has audible alerts or voice alerts. You can actually go in there and program your own voice or use a computer generated voice, and you can assign that to alerts related to telemetry or warnings or switch positions. So you can actually get an audible alert out of the 9XR Pro. It has a built-in half-watt speaker into it, as well as I mentioned before, it has headphone out, so you can use headphones with it. Anyway guys, this is the new 9XR Pro. There's a lot of information on the web. If you go to 9xr.com, you'll be able to look up some of the forums as well as the information about all the changes on the new Pro, as well as what made the original so great, especially around the software. And you can dive into it and see if this is your radio, but chances are it will do everything you possibly ever could need it to do. As always, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will see you next time.